What's up, Wizards? It's Dev and Animal Companion Ziggy, and today I got kind of a special one for you, working with both TCGPlayer and UltrPro to bring you some free things, and stuff as well. Now don't worry, we are going to play some games in the arena today, but I figured the idea of free Magic swag would probably be enough to get you to pay attention to the first minute or two of this video, because UltrPro was cool enough to send me a bunch of cool stuff. We got this Teferi deck box right here, which is actually really awesome looking, and it's commander size. Look how deep that thing is right there. We also got these Teferi sleeves right here, which look actually like super baller. And I'm going to sleeve those up real quick. But probably the coolest thing we got was this super awesome Teferi playmat right here, which I'm probably going to put on the wall with all the other playmats that you see during gameplay and stuff. But they want to send you all the same stuff that they sent me. And all you got to do is comment on this video by Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But just because you don't win my stuff, don't despair. You're not actually locked out of the chance of winning free things, because there are actually 5 total content creators working on this promotion right now. What they did was they went through all of the Planeswalkers in core set, and they assigned one to each of us. In case you can't tell, I got Teferi, which is kind of the best one you could get, so I'm not complaining too much. And there's some pretty big names who are also giving away stuff. Merchant here on YouTube is in this promotion, and over on Twitch you've got Nessa Meow Meow, Lady Lavinius, and Emma Skyward, who are all giving away things as well. And don't worry, by the way, if you didn't want to track down each of these content creators individually, TCGPlayer's got you covered. If you go to this address on the bottom of your screen, infinite.com/TCGPlayer, early next week, they're going to have articles up that feature the content of all of the creators in this promotion. But last thing here, TCGPlayer is also giving away free stuff. So if you want a box of Core Set 2021, you might want to start listening to this last bit here. All you got to do is follow Mtg at TCGPlayer over on Twitter, spelled exactly like this. And while you're there, follow SBMTG Dev on Twitter as well. You don't have to do that for this contest. I just want more Twitter followers, so do that. But if you follow Mtg at TCGPlayer, they're going to be doing a poll early next week. Check out that poll for a chance to win the box. But anyway, we're actually going to play some games of Magic now, because I had to build a deck around Teferi and play with it. Now, I could have gone Bant, I could have gone Blue-White Control here, or just any of the other things people are already doing competitively with Teferi in the format. But I wanted to go in a slightly different direction. That's right, through the use of YouTube Magic, we are now here. What I wanted to do was a sort of Teferi reanimator thing, which is convenient because those words go together really well. Tefereanimator. Because if you haven't noticed, Teferi allows you to discard cards, which I haven't really seen people do much to break, but you don't have to. Honestly, because a lot of the decks that Teferi already goes in have natural synergy with discarding cards. They play Elspeth Conquers Death, and you drop a card in your yard with Teferi, just get it back with the 3rd chapter of ECD a little bit later. And of course, a lot of these decks will also play Euros. You can drop a Euro in your yard, you're not punished too much, just escape it later. But that's all like really boring and stuff we've seen a million times before, so I wanted to see if Grixis Reanimator could work with Teferi as part of the base. But we also have Royal Scions on here to do effectively the same thing, draw a card and then discard a card on each of our turns, and it's actually not too hard to get to the Royal Scions Ultimate. So when you do that, it's just another way of winning the game, or just taking out large permanents and planeswalkers. Tomebound Lich is still in the deck to do the things that it does. It also draws and discards, but it's also a good speed bump against aggro decks with Death Touch, a little bit of lifelink too, Flame Sweep and Eliminate, 4 copies of Eliminate and 3 of Flame Sweep to just help keep creature decks off of our backs, and then Thought Erasure to take out any big plays while also surveilling, so we might get a big creature in the yard like Drakaseth or Terror of Mount Velis. Our pure reanimation piece is just Bond of Revival, so we can swing with a hasty Drakaseth on like turn 5 and Connive Concoct. We can't swing with the creature when we get it out of our yard, but we've got other things we can do with this card. Surveil sometimes helps, and then of course being able to gain control of stuff is awesome too sometimes. So that's pretty much the entire deck. I just wanted to see if this could actually work, and I haven't played too many games with it, because the deck I was planning on building for this event was a sort of Ironcrag Pyromancer, draw your 2nd card of the turn, Improbable Alliance deck with Teferi, and I liked that deck, but I thought this one was way spicier. So again, haven't really played much with it, not sure what's in store for us, but let's get some in. Right, we got one here up against Aethys, and the opponent goes first bug follows me. I don't think I've gone first in like 2 weeks. It feels like a very long time. Hopefully we'll go first in this video. We've got everything we need though. We got a Royal Scions, a Bond of Revival, a Drakaseth. It's looking good. We can cover the early game here with a Thought Erasure and Eliminate. So it's not terrible. We're looking okay. Just hopefully the opponent doesn't have counter spells. And they do have blue mana, so maybe we're playing against Bant. Although Bant is almost always Yorion. It might just be the Simic No. Maybe it's Simic Flash, which would be the absolute worst deck we could play against. So hopefully it's not that one. Yeah, it looks like it is. Thornwood Falls. Well, I don't think we're going to be having the best time today, but let's go ahead and look in that hand there. See what they've got. Oh, no, it's just Simic Ugin. Simic Ugin doesn't usually play the Ops. I'm a little surprised by that, but okay. Let's just get the Ugin, the Ineffable, out of their hand. And I actually do want that land. So we're going to have 5 here for the bond. And yeah, things are looking okay. If they Beanstalk, I figure they Beanstalk this turn. That just gives us more turns to do stuff. Mostly it's just ramp in their hand at this point, which I'm not too worried about. We'll get Scions this turn. Let's go ahead and do that. Steam Vents untapped, Royal Scions. Sucks there's going to be 2 turns in between doing this and reanimating Drac, but gotta do what you gotta do, right? Throw it out. Throw Drake in the bin. See what our opponent does here with 5 mana. They're just going to play P. Diddy. And P. Diddy. And Opt. I thought it was going to be an Arboreal Grazer. They go Opt instead. Yeah, at this point they got to start worrying, I guess. So, let's throw down a tap to Blood Crypt. Draw a discard. It's Teferi. That's a pretty good card. Well, I guess I'll just bin this other Drake, which I could start casting in a few turns. Then I'll just Tomebound Lich, a TBL here. Draw, discard one of these lands. I think it's going to be a Steam Vents. Do I want this Eliminate? Yeah, I think I want the lands more than I want to Eliminate in this matchup. So let's do that. And they throw down Euro, but it's not going to do much this turn. We are going to have to start worrying about them escaping it soon. Throw down Breeding Pool. Untapped. Beans. Okay. So they might get a green source so they can play Arboreal Grazer. Yep. And that way they can block Drakaseth. But, well, they can't really because Drake's going to do damage first. Alright, Paradise Druid's coming in at Scions. We're going to block 1. Scions go down to 5. They just wanted to keep the ultimate from popping off. So, I guess we go ahead and bond this turn. I could play Teferi, which is like the whole reason that I built the deck, right? But I think it's probably better just to play bond. And get a Drake. Force them to answer that with their Simic deck, which might be a little bit tough. Let's go ahead and make him 9 power. Swing. I'm actually going to keep Lich up on defense and swing in. Beat that up. Beat that up, and beat that up. Bam, bam, bam. Opponent at 10 when it's all over. Yep. And no permanents on the table. So this was pretty good. This was okay. So I'm fine with this. They play Beanstalk Giant, and that's probably the game. So I might as well just play Teferi. I might as well do that. You know, you're the whole reason we're here, T. Make Drakaseth bigger. Why don't I just phase out this Beanstalk Giant? Why don't I just do that? Yeah, and then they'll give up because I'm doing way too much cool stuff. Alright, we go first again, everybody. Wow, squeaky wheel and all that. I don't love this hand. It's not bad. I mean, we got Bond and a huge creature, so we need to find a way to discard a card. But what I really don't like is that we have to use the Fabled Passage to either get black or red. Can't have any other, we can't have the other color. We have to pick one. So it really depends on what our opponent's playing here. Do we want Thought Erasure or do we want a guaranteed Flame Sweep? Well, they're going to Mardu Triome turn 1 here. So I guess I'm going to pop for a blue because I'm very intrigued as to what your Mardu deck is. Unless it's just cycling. Might just be cycling. So let's pop for a black. I think I said pop for a blue. I didn't mean that. Let's Thought Erasure. Okay. Gideon Sacrifice. Gideon Sacrifice. Huh. Well, I guess I'll get rid of the White Sanctum. And keep this Thought Erasure. I'll totally keep that Thought Erasure. As much as I'd like to draw a Planeswalker that can discard like Terror for us, I also want to be able to get other stuff out of their hand. Although, I really don't have that many amazing choices this turn, to be honest. Do I want to actually hold on to this Thought Erasure? Nah, I think I'll Thought Erasure. Yeah, I don't not want this Blood Crypt because we have to be able to cast Bond at some point in the game, but I'd much rather have a decent Planeswalker right now. So let's take a Shatter. Maybe we should take this Gideon Sacrifice, right? Because obviously their deck does something that wants this card, but I'd rather see the awesome thing they're trying to. We could always Thought Erasure again next turn. Let's give up on Thought Erasure for now, I think. I don't know if that's the right choice, but I'd really much rather just have a Planeswalker at this point. But I'd actually kind of want to see the cool thing their deck does with Gideon Sacrifice. A lot. So let's figure it out. Alright, so nothing else this turn. We drew the Blood Crypt, even though we put a Blood Crypt on bottom last turn. So that's fun. Enters tapped. Next, we haven't seen a Connive Concoct yet. At all. That's kind of lame, but I guess we wouldn't have a creature to grab with one half of it. But Surveil 3 put a and then put a thing into play. Might actually be a big deal right now. But we got all the time in the world. There's a Mr. T. That's what I want to see. Let's go. What you got? Nothing, apparently. Alright. So let's just plus Teferi. Discard Terror. Play a Mountain. And say go. Alright, well they still have Shatter the Sky. And that kind of sucks, but we will be able to get in one good swing at least with Terror. We're holding on to Shatter. Maybe I should have kept the other thought. Elspeth Conquers death. Well. Well. Hey, we get another Teferi. That's hilarious. Let's discard the Flame Sweep. We won't be needing it. Get rid of Teferi. I am going to go ahead and Bond. Get back Terror. Basically force this Shatter the Sky. Double strike him down to 13. Throw the Steam Vents down. Then, next turn, if we draw a huge creature, we can just play it. And we're probably forcing Shatter this turn, I imagine. Either that or they can, play a small creature and then Gideon Sacrifice, block and then Gideon Sacrifice or something. Maybe that's the whole reason it's in the deck. Maybe they're seeing if they should wait, Maybe they could be thinking, I can take a swing and go down to 4 next turn. Well, they're going to go ahead and Shatter. Give us a card, but it's just a Fabled Passage. Not a big deal. We draw another Fabled Passage. Alright. Let's thin up the lands, because apparently we have to do that. What do we want here? I guess blue's always good. We have enough as far as red goes. Sucks this Teferi costs extra, but we gotta take it. Let's draw and discard. Got plenty of land to do that. We still do, don't we? Well, Watery Grave. I guess we'll drop. Basic Island is better than Watery Grave at this stage of the game, I think. They don't have anything to get back with Elspeth Conquers Death, but they're steady doing work with the Sanctum of Stonefangs. They have 3 cards. We don't know what they do. Oh my god, an Elspeth Conquers Death. Well, if you got them, play them, right? Let's go ahead and use Teferi. We get a Tomebound Lich, which isn't great. It's really not. We gotta draw some Biznaz, y'all. Land. Let's drop the Fabled Passage. Activate it. We gotta thin up this mana base. Gotta do it. I feel like we don't have enough swamps. Let's Tomebound Lich. We get another Tomebound Lich. We could just roll on this again, but we'd have to discard whatever we picked up. So let's just wait till next turn. Which is specifically why I was thinking about not playing the land, the Fabled Passage this turn. But, you can't always predict that's going to happen. Here comes a Brash Taunter. That's very neat. That's why he's got a sacrifice. That's very cute. Bond of Revival. Costs us a lot of mana, but we can play it. Let's do that while they're tapped out. And get in. They're at 6, but if they have an untapped white source for the rest of the game, this is a very, very good card. So, you know, that's not great. So they have to keep white mana untapped. They do have 2 white sources. Man, I should have known it was Taunter. Should have known. Which, by the way, Taunter goes very well with Sanctum of Shattered Heights, doesn't it? That's very neat. Huh. I like that. I like it a lot. Let's draw and discard. Discard the Blood Crypt. Gideon Sacrifice, everybody. Okay, so if we attack with terror, they will cast Gideon Sacrifice. We'll take 10. We'll take 10. We'll go to 3. Then we'll go to 1. But then they can just discard something to Sanctum, hit Brash Taunter, and kill us, right? To target creature, not target creature you don't control. Alright, so I actually kind of want to good game the opponent here. Because that's what Sacrifice does. Knew we should have gotten it earlier, right? Knew we should have gotten it earlier. Pretty hot. Let's go ahead and good game the opponent. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That was awesome. That was awesome. I played against a lot of these Shrine decks, but I've never seen this. I've never seen Taunter in the Shrine deck. That's what you got to do. I'm doing that today. Alright, we're up against Resist Evo here, who's still playing Yamori the Collector as a companion. Probably means this is a Mutate deck. So we have Bond of Revival and Drakaseth in our hand, which is not bad. Again, ran into this problem a couple times. We need the Planeswalker to discard it. It's crazy that we have 8 Planeswalkers that can do so, but we never seem to start the game with them in our hand. I will actually start the game on Steam Vents just in case we draw a Thought Erasure next turn. I think that's the best way to do it, because we have Swamp, we can just play. It's also the best way to kill a creature with Eliminate, without having to take damage. They throw down Sultai Triome. This is almost certainly Mutate. So, if they throw down Paradise Druid next turn, then we're in a little bit of trouble, but we do have Flame Sweep. And Flame Sweep might be really, really good right now. So we just go tap Blood Crypt, say go. Opponent's trying to figure out what to do. Yep, Paradise Druid off of untapped Breeding Pool this turn. We could play Royal Scions, but I actually think the best thing to do is Flame Sweep. And I could play at instant speed. I could just wait until they try to mutate something onto Paradise Druid, but 6 of 1, actually, in that case, 6 of 1, half dozen of the other. I'm going to go ahead and Flame Sweep. Because I'd rather they, skip a turn because they can't play Migratory Greathorn for 3 mana, right? So this turn we can Scions. And still do things on curve, too. Scions. Discard the Drakaseth. Huh, we get a Drakaseth. That's cute. Throw down tapped Blood Crypt. And say go. And next turn, we can bond out this Drakaseth. And that'll be nice, right? It'll be very nice. See what opponent does here. I think this might be the turn we see a Greathorn for the first time. We slowed them down significantly. It's a Gem Razor. Okay. Gem Razor is not terrible. Let's bond, everybody. Drakaseth, gonna kill that Gem Razor on attacks. Give it +2/+0 in first strike. Blah, blah. Hang it in on the opponent. They scoop. They scoop. Because what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that, son? But, yeah, good deck. When it does the thing that it wants to do, pretty decent deck. But let's go ahead, I guess, and wrap it up. Take a second look at this deck before we get out of here. And see what we could do about it. I mean, I think we could probably go down 1 Eliminate here and go for maybe a Chemister's Insight. Maybe. I just want something you can play out of your graveyard. Jeez. I guess Phoenix? Not Arclight Phoenix, but Phoenix of Ash. Could be a decent card in this deck. I just want something to escape. That would be nice, because we put a bunch of cards in our yard. We don't need all of them. But that could be something Phoenix, or maybe, again, Chemister's Insight I think is probably the better one. Another one I was thinking of is Frantic Inventory, because we don't have all the things to do in the early game, so we could play this on turn 2 at instant speed. Or we could also like dump extra copies of it to Teferi or the Royal Scions, and then the next time we cast one, it's bigger. So that's something you could do in your graveyard. I just think this deck needs to do more with its graveyard if it's going to be dumping cards in there. But all in all, I think the deck played pretty well, especially like the 2 games where it did on curve exactly the thing it's supposed to do. It's really, really difficult to do anything about that, especially if you're already behind. You know, like that Flame Sweep really saved us in the Mutate game. Otherwise, our opponent would have been able to start mutating a turn earlier and doing crazy stuff. So I just, you know, again, if we're able to disrupt the opponent in the early game, which is our plan with Eliminate and Thought Erasure and Flame Sweep, then it's a lot easier to actually execute our plan. We also need ways to like protect our Planeswalkers, like Royal Scions, Teferi. So again, I think this early game of disruption and removal is very important to make sure the board's clear when we do play our Planeswalkers. But there's all kinds of other stuff you could do with this deck. Just give me your ideas down there in the comment section, and don't forget to comment in the first place to try to win some of this stuff. You know, do all the stuff I said in the first few minutes of the video. But in any case, I'm done for this one. Just let me know how you felt about it. Like the video, subscribe, do all that stuff. Check out the Patreon. $1 a month to vote on content. That's a cool thing to do, and it's only $1 every 30 days. That's, I mean, if you can't scrounge it up, then that's terrible. I'm sorry. Like, I should send you $1 a month. That's a terrible situation. But if you can, and like, seriously, I feel I have empathy because I've been in those kinds of situations where I had to like steal meat from the supermarket before. I really have done that many times before this YouTube channel. So again, I know there are people out there that can't afford $1 a month. I used to be one of them, but like, if you can, and you're, you know, privileged in that way, then please consider helping out the channel and voting on the content that you want. But if you're just watching the videos, I appreciate that. But in any case, I'm done after getting way too personal there at the end. But anyways, I'm done for this one. Just let me know how you felt about it, and I will catch you cats later. I'm Dev from the place. Thanks for watching, my wizards. Spread love and be kind.